This past week on the farm, we've been working non-stop on tractors, implements, and equipment. But you know what? This is not how I wanted to start this tractor video. Here's how I originally intended for it to begin. We pulled the tractors out of the barns, we fired up the air compressor. We're gonna start working on the equipment, getting it ready for spring planting as our fields out there continue to drain winter water. So we've got this tractor hooked up to our 3-point chisel, and what we're doing is rotating the chisel blades. Not a bad intro and lead, right? The issue is that when I started editing this tractor video, I noticed the wind was causing way too much feedback in the microphone during filming. Now it starts getting really annoying to watch. Last time we used this 3-point chisel was after harvest to rip up the ground before we flooded it for winter decomp. You see? Last year the points got rounded off during spring work, so we're just rotating them to get a nice square, perfectly brand new edge as they're double pointed. And it gets way worse too. But that's okay. This little segment will give me the opportunity to explain to you guys exactly what we've been working on with our tractors this week, and give me the opportunity to narrate some other random things that have been happening around the farm and in the rice fields. For example, check out who's hiding around the electrical box that runs one of our ditch pumps. Cool little lizard, and look how close he let me get. Isn't that sweet? Also, cruising around other people's rice fields, I saw this guy using the stomper to incorporate some straw. See, what I think happened is last fall after harvest, they burnt this field, and because we had those heavy rains last week, they wanted to take advantage of their flooded field to just stomp down and incorporate the burnt stubble that was remaining to help it, I guess, do a quick decomposition. That's really the only thing I can think of. But anyway, I'm getting super sidetracked now, I know. Anyway, back to the tractors and just, wait, but actually, hold on. I just want to mention the wind that blew through this week and made it difficult to film and ruin my audio actually had a really positive aspect, and that is that it's helped dry out the fields tremendously. I mean, look at the difference between last week and this week. Okay, back to the chisel work. See, the last time we used this 21-foot 3-point chisel was in the fall after harvest. We used it to help incorporate the straw before we flooded the fields with winter water so that we could decompose the straw. And what we did is we added heavy-duty washers to the bottom bolt that bolts the chisel blade onto the shank, just to give it a little bit more of an aggressive pitch so we could get a real good rip. So we're doing two things right here, right now. We're flipping the blades over because they were worn down so much on one side going through the entire planting season last year. We're flipping them around because they're double pointed and positioning the new point so that it will be used this spring for planting. We're also removing those washers, putting the chisel teeth back into a less aggressive position. Now, because back in the fall after harvest we were using the chisel to do this more aggressive ripping, we did have to take off 2 chisel shank extensions. Basically, we removed the outer teeth because we were putting so much torque on the tractor by being so aggressive. So we're gonna move the tractor over and bolt those extensions back on. Alright, now that we got those extensions on, we're just going to slightly move the tractor back a little bit and put on the guide wheels for this 3-point chisel. Awesome, now that we got the guide wheels on, we got the extensions on, but remember, those extensions that we just put on, we need to flip those teeth. So let's move it back over to the air compressor. Okay, now that all these chisel teeth have been switched around and we're leading with that new, sharper tooth edge, we're gonna just make sure that they're tightened down to the shanks properly. And we're gonna do that with a heavy hammer over the bolt heads, a socket wrench, and also a cheater pipe for extra leverage, just to make sure they're extra tight. Last thing we want is a chisel tooth to break off or fall off during spring work. Then who knows where it would be. Now the last thing we're gonna do with this chisel is look for cracks, weak points in the frame. mark them so that Pops can later weld them up. Bada bing, bada boom, and we got this 21-foot 3-point chisel all done. Only found that one crack. Pops will take care of it right now. And guess what we gotta do now? On to the next chisel. We got one more 3-point chisel and 2 pull chisels that we need to do the exact same work on. And actually, while we've been doing all this, Pops has been touring through the county, driving his bank out through those last remaining fields that aren't around our shop here to create those ruts to drain water. Oh, and by the way, remember that lizard that was hanging out at the electrical box by our ditch pump? There's a bridge there close by. You see underneath there, under the bridge, are several, dozens of sparrow nests. So just check this out. If I plan this out, this should be pretty cool.
Toma.
Anyway, back at the equipment yard, we're making great progress on our chisels, and look who decides to roll on in his muddy old bank out. He is done. And as Pops turns off the ignition, that represents that this bank out has done its job until this fall, until harvest. All the drains have now been put in. That means we got a little bit of shovel work, but because they're the last fields, it means we don't have that much more shovel work to do. So we're in real good shape. That's a good thing. And as you guys know, I've gotten plenty of exercise in the last couple of weeks doing shovel work. Hashtag CropFit. Well. Got to keep raising the 3-point because it starts sagging. It's got to cycle through the hydraulics and lift it back up again. What we're going to continue doing this coming week is do a lot more work specifically on the tractors. We're going to change oil, we're going to change filters, we're going to blow out air filters, clean the cabs, get them all ready now that we have most of our chisel work all done. We still got to work on our discs, we still need to work on our land planes, and after that, we pretty much have our spring equipment ready to go. A few odds and ends, and it's just waiting for the fields to dry out and hoping it doesn't rain too excessively in the next couple of weeks. We'd love to get started April 1 or April 2. Well, I got my peace sign already up in the air, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go home. It's family time. I'm gonna link down in the description a lot of other spring tractor work videos that we've done. I got a card popping up here occasionally, I know, but down in the description I got tons of links of other tractor work videos that we do around this time of the year, and also some great episodes that give you an overview of how we do our spring planting here in the rice fields, if you'd like to check that out. Those are all in the description. Comment down below if you guys have any questions. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Man, it's just hard for me to say goodbye sometimes, guys. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.